Hey guys, welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys, well, we're back today at 12 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Pacific, to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Dubai. But right now, we have some more family drama brewing on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't know if you guys heard the trailer for Teresa Giudice's new podcast, but it's called Namaste Bitches, and it's interesting. So go check it out. And she also throws a little shade at Melissa Gorga in there. So we're back to talk about that. The fact that Joe and Melissa are laughing off the cheating rumors, and they just did a podcast episode of their own, kind of debunking things a little bit. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So we already talked about the fact that Teresa Giudice is launching a new podcast that comes out at the end of September with Melissa Feister, a different Melissa. And this Melissa is one of her good friends, but she even makes sure to throw a little bit of shade out there on the podcast trailer, which is about 1 minute long. You can go check it out. And when she does, she's like, guess what? I'm hosting a podcast with Melissa. And of course, you get the sound effect, not that Melissa. And they talk about how they're going to talk about, having cameras in your face all the time, love, life, sex, and everything in between. So I think that Teresa, it might be an interesting podcast considering they are going to, take callers and you can email, ask your questions, send your questions, and it seems a little bit more personal. But Teresa's not the only one doing a podcast. We know that Melissa Gorga has her On Display podcast where she recently had her husband on, and they were talking about all of these cheating allegations, the rumors and things that went on. Of course, we know that Melissa and Joe, and even Teresa, when you go on and you do podcasts or you just, wrapped filming like they did for season 13 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, there's only so much they can say. So Melissa said there are tidbits of the story out there that are true when it comes to the drama that's surrounding her, Joe, Teresa, and Louis. She said there are some parts that are true, but she said that there's also one key part that's missing. So I'm wondering what that could be. Now, we know that Margaret Joseph's friend or ex-friend Laura came into the group trying to, technically she's trying to push her way into the group, and she was trying to align herself with Teresa Giudice and Jennifer Aydin, which is shocking to me considering Margaret Joseph's pitched her to the show twice. And she feels like Margaret was the reason that she didn't actually get brought onto the show. This woman, unfortunately, like the way that she's kind of navigating this whole situation is really, it feels dirty. And her husband just got blasted out for trying to go on Two Teas in a Pod to give his side of the story, which is also strange. And Tamra Judge put him on blast saying, no, we're not bringing on a husband. But Laura said, I stand by my truth. I never said that rumor about Melissa and Joe was true. I said I was told by Margaret that someone saw that. I never said that Melissa did that. Now, several sources claim that Laura, who has auditioned for The Real Housewives of New Jersey now 2 or 3 times, allegedly told Teresa and Jennifer Aydin the rumor during a 4-hour meetup, trying to get a spot on the show. She went to 2 people who didn't like Margaret, crying to them and telling them all of these stories, things with an ounce of truth. Okay, she twisted it. So were Margaret and Melissa ever out with these guys? Yes. Was there anyone ever kissing? No, no one made out with anyone. And the guy's name is Nick Barada, but he's also married. I don't know why someone would try to run with this information, but even when Melissa and Joe Gorga went on to the show, their podcast, they talked about how this is just ridiculous. And he's, addressing it, saying, we're actually friends with this person. We're all good friends. None of this is true. Maybe, I guess the part that could have been true would be the fact that him and Louis got into a heated altercation during the season 13 finale and they had to be separated by security. Maybe that part's true. Maybe the part that, someone came forward and tried to plant a story accusing Melissa Gorga of cheating. Maybe that part could have been true. But if Joe's standing by his wife and saying that I don't believe that this actually happened, I'm standing by Joe and Melissa on this one. I don't think that Melissa Gorga, with the happy family that she has, the beautiful home, the children that she shares with Joe, I feel like she would be a loyal wife. She seems like a great wife, a great mother. I'm not buying this for a second. This seems like a very desperate attempt by someone who will do anything to get onto the show. And I've seen this before in person. Like, 100%. I saw it on Vanderpump Rules where there were people who were kind of auditioned to be on the show, and they would come in and they would just throw out blatant lies, and they would just try to throw anything that would stick and say, wow, I'm giving you a shock factor. But when you're not coming on and being authentically yourself, Kyle Richards even said this in the past, the viewers see it. The viewers see that you're just trying to stir up trouble. And I'm guessing that's why this Laura woman did not actually make it onto the show, because from what we're seeing or hearing, it sounded like she wanted to come on, team up with Jennifer Aydin and Teresa Giudice in an effort to take Margaret Josephs down. And that's how you start your run on a show. You're like, oh, I was best friends with her. I know a lot of her dirty secrets, and I want to be brought on so I can rip her apart and bring her down. It's really sad. And I feel bad for Margaret Josephs in this. And I also feel bad for Melissa and Joe, because this is another, again, desperate attempt to use someone's family, and you're almost stepping on them in order to get your own gain, right? So Melissa and Joe have to sit there now and completely debunk all of this, while also, having their family, their kids are going to hear about it. Their kids are going to go to school. They'll probably be teased about it, all because you want to roll on a reality TV show that most likely ultimately would have ruined your own relationship had you have been brought onto the show. And then why is your husband coming in? Now, for Melissa and Joe, again, they said that there's a lot more to the story. They said that a lot of people are giving them backlash saying, get off of reality TV because reality TV is destroying your family. And Melissa even added, sometimes even when it's family, you just have to realize when things are toxic and when to walk away. You have to do that, because sometimes the toxicity can take over your life. I agree with that. I have family members that I've had to walk away from in my life and who have also attacked me for no reason. And I think that, you have to make that hard decision. It's unfortunate. And for Teresa and Louis, they are still, and this isn't any shade towards Teresa and Louis, but the comments, like Louis coming forward and saying, we missed Melissa and Joe at the wedding. And Teresa is making statements like in her speech saying, oh, thank you to our friends and family and chosen family, and throwing the shade. But then also in the podcast with this other Melissa, the blonde Melissa, she's also throwing more shade saying, wrong Melissa. And she knows that it's going to get, it's going to have that shock factor. So the families can't stop talking about each other. But the funny thing is when Joe and Melissa talk about Teresa and Louis, they do it very cryptically, and they don't really say nasty things about them. But then Teresa also will say, I've never said anything nasty about Melissa or my brother. I don't try to hurt them. And then when you go down the line and you bring up cheating rumors, you bring up, rumors that she was working in a strip club or whatever the case was, you bring in other people to try to take down your brother and your sister-in-law. This stuff adds up and it doesn't look that great. I do commend Louis for trying to repair the relationship between the brother and sister situation, but I do want to know what happened at that season 13 finale. I have to talk to somebody who's closer to production. All right, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. What do you think about the Namaste Bitches podcast? What do you think about Melissa and Joe debunking the rumors, the cheating rumors with Nick Barada, and saying that, well, there's more to the story. You guys are getting bits and pieces of the truth, but it's not the whole truth. And how do you feel about this woman desperately trying to bring down a family just to get on a show? All right, comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Love you.